The ABB FIA Formula E World Championship leaves Sao Paulo, Brazil and comes to Tokyo, Japan. We're at the Exhibition Centre for round 5 of the season. Next up in April, it's a double-header at Misano before going over to Monte Carlo. The season rounds out with double-headers: Berlin, May 11 and 12, Shanghai for the first time, May 25-26, June sees Portland and July sees London. In the driver standings, Cassidy leads the way on 57 to Verline on 53. Evans and Jev have 39 apiece, where Dennis has 38. Bird on 37 after victory, Roland 33, Gunther 22, Buemi 20, 19 for Franks, 18 for Hughes, Van Dorn on 18, NATO 9, Fenestrez 8, Da Costa as well on there. In the team standings, we see Tag Heuer as well in second on 61 points, Jaguar dominating on 96, and still no points on the board from Mahindra or App Cooper as well. And we're all set for what's going to be a very entertaining session. Hello everybody, welcome to the second practice session for the 2024 ABB FIA Formula E Tokyo E-Prix, part of season 10 of this championship, and we can't wait to see where we're going to get going. I'll be completely honest with you, I'm sneezing like mad out here at the moment as well. And no sleep, part of the no sleep club, because it is 22:57 UK time. Over there in Japan, it is 7:57 AM. So, plan for me is, after qualifying, which finishes about 2:45 UK time, straight to sleep for 2.5 hours of sleep. Get up 15 minutes before the pre-show, get into the box for 5:30, start streaming to you. As soon as the race is over, back we go. To bed for a couple of hours. Well, compared to yesterday, where it was dry and sunny with a little bit of dampness down the start-finish straight, we've had overnight. It's still a bit damp, sun's out, track temperature's at 23 degrees, air temperature 17 degrees, so it's not too much of a difference. 74% humidity, and the drivers look happy, well, as happy as they can be. They've now got a very unpredictable 30 minutes ahead of us to work out exactly what the plan's going to be. And it's around the brand new circuit here in Tokyo, Japan, one of the most densest and populated cities in the planet. There's the radio tower as well in the centre of the city. We're about 20 minutes outside of the centre, 2.585 miles, 20 turns in total. And don't worry, we'll be seeing a track guide in the race later on here. Around the heritage site. This is part of the exhibition centre as well. It's up next to the Docklands, so the weather blows in quite a lot. It's going to be an interesting one to see what is going to happen as well. Hello to Charles Francis, thanks for your help earlier, and we'll try it tomorrow. Good luck, hope it works. Morning, Adam. Hello, Adam. Good evening, Adam, I should say over there. Adam Lemmer's not with us in the commentary box for NASCAR this weekend. Currently, I don't think we've got anyone. I think Josh T is going to be in there, but I think we're doubling up with USRN or some people from the Grid Network as well. That's the plan for Richmond this weekend. In the commentary box this weekend for ABB FIA Formula E, Ed Hunter is going to be with us, but he'll be very much on a quieter note as well. He'll still be in the box giving some thumbs up reactions and some minimalistic reports, but because it's so early, he can't wake anybody up. So Jack Pickering, Pico, who is going to be our pit reporter for the previous years. He works, of course, with Formula E Zone on the FEZ bar, the FE bar. Pico will be joining me in the commentary box alongside Ed, but Pico will be main commentator alongside myself. Ed will be doing the analysis as well and just talking as much as he can. We're about 40 seconds away from the green light, so good morning to the wonderful Tom Brooks, who's alongside the bridesmaid of Formula E, Andre Lotterer. 5 points, though, so I wonder whether the tables are going to turn here this weekend. It's Jaguar's 100th race in Formula E. They had a celebration in Tokyo last night to commemorate that. Also, Mitch Edlund's 100th race in the championship as well, because he's been with Jaguar for the entirety of his career. Just looking inside the Andretti garage there at Jake Dennis. Now, Zane, it was a really interesting first session that we had here yesterday. That wet circuit and the disrupted running in particular made things very unpredictable. What do you think the drivers would have learned from that session?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's not so much to learn when the track's quite far off and of course quite wet in turn 1, but we woke up this morning expecting dry and it's still wet in turn 1, so it's, yeah, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for the drivers straight away into FP2 and then qualifying. You need to be on it straight away as a driver, so I'm sure that's what everyone's trying to do and think about, and then it's the team's job to try to give them the best car.
Well, the green light is on. Free practice 2 gets underway then here on the streets of Tokyo as the drivers head out onto the circuit for the first time here this morning. You can still see a little bit of standing water there on the exit of pit lane and also a little bit on the start-finish straight as well. Of course, the sun is going to come over the circuit. We'll dry it out a little bit later on.
Yeah, the big question is now for the teams and the drivers is what will be the better lap for the tires? Is it out prep push or 2 preps? But there are 2 aspects here now because the track temperature will rise naturally, and then also the fact that turn 1 is still wet, so they will not really have the proper answer until qualifying, and maybe find out in qualifying.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all works out as the drivers sort of filter their way onto the circuit. It's good to see the grandstands actually pretty full. It's very early in the morning here, just 8 o'clock local time in Tokyo. And we thank you for wherever you're joining us in the world, in particular if you're in the UK at the moment. I know that it's sort of the middle of the night over there. So
well, it is indeed, Tom. Thank you everybody for joining us as well. It is 11:01 in the evening here, so it's still Friday, but 3 Mahindras in the top 10 was yesterday's big headlines as well. So, yeah, it was very good, actually, to see the Mahindra powertrains, of course, coming in. Looking good, because we've got Muller in there, too, with the Mahindra M10 Electro. That's the delta between the 2 of them as they come into it. So, drivers very much on their out laps at the moment. It's still damp in places from the rain, the monsoon, let's face it, we had yesterday in practice 1 that dried out. It was a monsoon in the morning, dried out a little bit in the afternoon, but it still lingered on the start line, and it hasn't dried up overnight because it's gone very in, so still very sick still. Omi, yeah, he's not very well at the moment, Omi, poor Omi, so I hope you're okay. Now, I wonder if that will affect later on if we'll have a standing start on the grid or not, because if you remember Paris a couple of years ago in Formula E, it was wet on one side of the track and dry on the other, where the shrubbery deposited all its water it held in the trees, and it made one side of the track very unsafe. So I wonder if Scott Elkin, the race director, might decide for a rolling start or a safety car start. We'll keep an eye on it. Omi says, yesterday I was like Alex Shakes in Bahrain on the Sunday, yeah. Not talking, not saying anything as well, coming into it. So, Omi, I hope you're okay, and you'll be doing good. We're doing PSGL, yeah. Get some rest, Omi. None of the usual team are on this weekend. Well, bar Josh T. I'll say that. Josh T might be on Monday's NASCAR. I think Monday, because it's at 12 a.m. UK time.
Do you think it will
waving on straight?
just to put some heat on both brakes and we'll have less discrepancy?
Finish has less weight on brakes, so more buoyancy, I think he said, as well. So he wants more lift through the corners. Yeah, none of the. So we've got Pico coming into the box as well, who's our pit reporter and Formula E Zone supporter trackside for several events, mainly during the European seasons. He's coming in. Ed's going to be sort of at the bottom of the screen, giving him the thumbs up and everything. And then also we're going to have a very interesting situation where in NASCAR we're just negotiating the commentary team with that as well to come into it. So it'll be fun. It was supposed to be me, Jess, and Josh, but you can't ask Jess, who's getting a few days off work, to work at 12 a.m. on a Monday. He's on holiday as well. So Jess gets a rest. Josh T is at Grand, so he gets a rest. So we're just sort of cherry picking people where to be in terms of that at the moment in the commentary. And we've got a few days to plan it, which is fine. It's great for us. I mean, it gets us information and hopefully some new team. The most likelihood is that we'll just piggyback on USRN and we'll be with them during the race. Now, Boemi, he's gone a 129.413. Frines is a 131.454 and is adjusting the situation together. You might notice I'm looking back over here. That's because we've got our timing monitor back working over here. So I've got the normal streaming monitors here and here. That's on OBS and the driver tracker. That's got the camera on at the moment. We'll have the boys on it later on. And I've got my actual timing monitor back. I'm loving it. It's working again. Which means I get to see exactly what it needs to be. Let's have a replay of Fright over the bump and far away. And, well, suspension comes to play. It's not great over there. Just in the chicane area at the back of the track. So it's coming through. Yeah, it's through turn 10 and 11, the back half of the track, where they're coming through and 11 are coming through now. So coming into position will be, as I said, yeah, I can't work it out now. My monitor's going to, it's too big for me to see the monitor. Sete Camera and Degrassi going through that sector time as well as they went through it. Still on the deltas. Here's Mitch Evans. I'm going to pull those forward. Megan really just messed my chair about when she's here. I like the commentator on Formula E as well. He screams a lot. How about you guys? Tom Brooks. Well, he's become a fan favourite. And he's become a friend as well. I think which is crucial to say as well. So nice to have Tom around. Tempted to message him saying, do you want to come on for a Formula 1 race? Let's go down to Alexa. She's in the pit.
So talk to us. We saw Sasha Fenestraz having an incident at the end of FP1 yesterday. We saw him icing his hand, heard on the team radio that he was feeling a bit sore. How's he doing today?
No, he's doing well. Thanks God. Thanks God we checked everything last night and it was just a minor pain.
And is the car doing okay? Was there repairs required on the car overnight? Sorry, were there repairs required on the car overnight?
No, just the wing, but nothing mechanical, just the wing, so it was very easy. Yeah.
And let's talk about the track conditions today. Obviously, it's basically still half wet, half dry out there. That's going to be pretty challenging looking ahead to quali.
Yes, I mean, they are doing their best to dry everything, so I think that we hope that the challenge will stay only for free practice, but in quali everything will be okay. Having said that, as usual, it's challenging for everyone, so it's even.
Thank you so much, Tommaso.
Yeah. Thank you, Alexa. As they come back into the circuit. Hopefully my microphone starts working. So fastest first sector for Roland, 33.090. He's coming to the pit lane though, so he won't be setting any more deltas. Vern, fastest third sector with a 27.372. Roland, yeah, we did go 6th. Dennis, there we go. Dennis fastest at the moment. Let's hand over to the boys.
Practice 2. Jake Dennis currently the man who is quickest overall. Zane, he was a little bit further down the order than I was expecting yesterday. Everything okay with Jake in the car and so on?
Yeah, all good. I mean, each session you try to optimize the run plan and what you want to learn as well.
Oh, red flag. Red flag's out. Red flag's out. Now, why have they thrown that? It's an instant red flag as well. Can't see anyone stopped on the driver tracker, but the stewards have decided to red flag the session. Now, this is important because we have a limited time on a Saturday. They can't extend and extend the session. Oh, we've got some debris on the track and a loose tyre barrier, I believe. That's stopped the session at the exit. So instead of put out the virtual safety car, because it's in a dangerous position. Oh, there's multiple bits of debris. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Debris at turn 8. Turn 12. It's going to be a quick turnaround. We'll just pick the debris up and then get going again.
Right, so debris on the track at turn 12. As you can see on the driver track, it's a very fast part of the track. So they have to red flag it. They can't throw the virtual safety car. Ergo, we go to that break as well. So red flag's out, session suspended as they come back in. The boys.
This weekend, but the red flag is out. The timer does continue to count down. So what happens now from a team perspective? Because we had red flags yesterday, it disrupted everybody's running. Is that kind of the same thing? Are they resetting? Are they going to have to reevaluate what they do?
Yeah, the engineers work on the run plan with a precise timing, and then this obviously gets updated. For the drivers, quite annoying because track time is very limited anyhow. So especially on a new track, then you're thinking, that's annoying. But it's the same for everyone, and I don't know. I don't see any car on track or anything. So maybe it's just to clean debris, and maybe it'll be a short interruption. But yeah, it's always a bit a deal breaker. But yeah, same for everyone.
So Jay Penske there inside the DS Penske garage. First time I've seen him without his shades on so far this year, but it is quite early in the morning, to be fair. Good to see the Japanese fans all in here as well.
Yeah, the Japanese fans, they're so committed.
TNT Sport.
So as the drivers come back into the pit lane.
I expected that. Here they are.
Ready to go. Let's have a look. Oh, it was Lucas Di Grassi actually in the Apt Cupra that went off. It was so he's clipped the front there going through the chicane. We thought a few drivers would come a cropper with this one.
Yeah, there you really have to push the limits, and depending on how well you hit the first curb, that's what happened to Lucas there. He got pushed off a little bit into the second wall, and it's sometimes you really close your eyes because you think you're gonna just touch it and then it's just fine, but that's playing with the limit. Luckily no bigger consequences. A tiny bit more, I think his front wheel would have been stuck in, and that would have been a big shunt. But yeah, we start to see drivers pushing now, so it's good.
Yeah, just looking inside the garages now as all the teams and drivers get themselves ready. From a driver's perspective, Zane, is it quite frustrating when you get a red flag like this in the middle of free practice, especially given we didn't have a clean session yesterday?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, like Andre said, it's the same for everyone, but you have a run plan going into the session, and when that gets interrupted, it's never great. For sure, I think that the plan for the teams now would to just be go through settings, see what they can improve with the car from the initial thoughts. So sometimes it could be a good thing and improve the car, and I'm sure that's what everyone will be trying to do right now.
So just looking inside the Andretti garage then here at the moment, this is the reigning world champion Jake Dennis. One race victory so far this year, with one win in Diriyah a couple of months ago for the second round of the season. Nick Cassidy as well, 3 podiums he had at the start of the year. That came to a very unfortunate end in Sao Paulo a couple of weeks ago. Ended up clipping the back of one of the drivers. Front wing went under the car a little bit later on in the lap. And unfortunately ended up crashing out of the race, his first DNF of the season, as the green flag flies. And we do get FP2 now back underway following that short
away
interruption.
We go.
As Ian James,
Away we go.
Team principal. Sam Bird, of course, taking the win last time out. Let's have a look at Jake Hughes here.
Oh, he went straight on. Hughes was straight on the track.
Game.
Wow, okay.
Because DeGrassi went off. And
yeah.
Jake Hughes there just exploring the braking.
Hughes was straight off the track, yeah.
Further.
Yeah, it's interesting to see now the evolution from last year to this year. You don't see cars lock up much because their anti-locking systems became much better. So last year you'd see like the inside wheel lock a bit more, and the teams are finding the limits a bit more. And because normally a situation like that, you would have seen smoke and driver tried to stop the car.
Well, one of the frustrations for a lot of the drivers yesterday was the fact they weren't able to get a quali sim in at the end of the session. Dan Ticktum in particular was really frustrated on the team radio with the fact that he'd gone for an attack lap and then found out that the session had been extended by a couple more minutes, and it just disrupted his running. So do you think they're going to use this FP2 session as a bit of a sim for quali later on?
Yeah, definitely. That's always the aim. You know, you first, I think, for all the drivers on a new track like this, you try to find a rhythm, trying to find your limits, and then naturally get into the sim prep.
Peak brake pressure T19. Okay.
Interesting for Dennis as he comes to the chicane.
Excessive peak brake pressure T19. Talk us through that.
Yeah. So.
Signal is rubbish on whether you choose YouTube or Discovery. Here we go.
During the red flag, the car came in, and then they were able to download the data, and the Perfo engineer goes through everything, and we know where the car operates the best, and because, you know, it's not like just brake discs, you have a lot of systems, you're braking on the front motor, you're trying to be on the best efficiency there, and sometimes when you just brake too hard, the system.
So just over 16.5 minutes to go of this session. Just looking here at Norman Nato in the Andretti. Zane had a tough weekend at Sao Paulo a couple of weeks ago. I'm assuming he's sort of wanting to reset, coming to this one and just move forwards, really.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Norman is in a great place. He's a great driver, and he has so much experience. So I think that he's now learned how to put a bad weekend behind him and push on for the next weekend. And yesterday, I mean, he had a good FP1.
Did indeed have a good FP1 session as well, as we're back on TV. Pictures finally after TNT went to the ad break. But when he jumps right up to the top, though, 1:21.310. Nato looking fast as well. There's the red flag moment that came out on the circuit. Just on the bottom of the track there. Nato across the line, goes quick. 1:20.958. One of the cars off the track at turn 1. Want to say that is Sebastian Buemi who locked up and went through. It was indeed Buemi. Straight on at 1, managed to regain composure. Has he done all that time? Yes, he has. So that's the difference between them at the moment. Fenestraz towards the back of the field, and now gets back into it as well by going up into 15th place. So everyone moves within 3 seconds of each other at the moment then. Van Dorn for the DS Penske just skating through. Dan Ticktum moves up into 4th position. 1:21.150 as well, as they continue to move down the pace a little bit. Van Dorn is just on the exit. Mortara up into 4th on a 1:21.140. So he too is improving on the time and positioning. He knows exactly where to be. So good stuff all round actually in this session. And Ver not too bad as well in that first sector delta time. It's a 33.461. Second sector is a 20.315. Faster than his teammate Stoffel van Dorn across several lap times as well. So they're both going to jump up towards the top here. And this is what we saw in Sao Paulo. The Penske's were fast in the practice sessions, but when it came down to qualifying in the race, they got to the duels. Van Dorn, I think, started front row of the grid, but it wasn't anything else. And let's go down to Alexa.
James, for joining us. So before we talk about your 100 races, let's chat about today's session, because this is a really tricky track out there, especially looking ahead to quali, where it should have dried up by then.
Yeah. A new track is basically always a bit of a challenge to start with. You're just trying to get the car in the right window. But it's it seems to be a really an enjoyable challenge so far. A lot of undulation. It's pretty bumpy. So just trying to get the car underneath the drivers is the important thing right now. It comes on a great day as well, celebrating our 100th race.
Yeah, talk to me about that. How was the event last night? I presume you're surrounded by partners, the drivers, the team.
Yeah, actually, as you can imagine, although it's nice to celebrate that, my eyes firmly on this weekend. So it was a pretty early night, but no, great to get together with, as you say, partners, employees, and members of the media as well, just to mark that moment. Right, it's been an incredible 100 races with some amazing memories along the way, and something I'm really proud of, and the whole team here is really proud of as well. But they're just their memories, and we're here to make new ones.
And what can we expect from your 100th race today? Are you feeling strong?
We always give it our best, right? And we are absolutely hungry to keep delivering on the podiums that we've started this season out with. So, yes, that's the goal. And it's great to be here in Tokyo. What an amazing place to have a race, right? And it's nice to be doing that for the first time here in Formula E.
Thank you so much, James. Back to you, Tom.
No mention of any karaoke at that Jaguar event last night, which is a bit of a shame. I wondered if I was thinking, what song would we get James Barkley to belt out? Probably She's Electric by Oasis would be appropriate, right? But Jaguar third and fourth fastest with just over 12 minutes of this session. On board we ride here with Antonio Felix da Costa in the Tag Heuer Porsche. A special livery for them here this weekend. They've gone pink in Japan. Yeah,
super cool livery. I really love it, and it's always nice to see teams doing special liveries for special places. I think it's very unique that we can come and race here, and you can recognize the car so well, and I think everyone is so enthusiastic about coming racing here.
Absolutely, yeah, just looking here at Oliver Rowland making his way through. Oh, that compression just coming out of 3. I mean, I tell you what, the drivers are not going to like it so much. For us here in the commentary box, so this is great.
Yeah, I love watching it. For them, their back is going to be feeling it at the end of the weekend. And I know there's a couple of them throughout the track. It's also difficult for the engineers to set a car up when you have such big jumps like that. Because for some of the track, you want something, and then for the rest, where the bumps are, you want something different. So, I mean, this is a difficult track for everyone.
Roland on a...
Yeah, looking quite an interesting one then as they come across. And Evans still up there. Sector 1 faster with Ollie. It's a 32.621. A lot of improvements coming across the sector. Roland, well, it says Roland goes quickest, but he's down to P2 at the moment. Jaguar at the moment fastest with Mitch Evans on a 120.185 as they fly through, braking hard, turns into the chicane at 19. Oh, sorry, chicane coming out of 11 and 12 downhill. We'll swoop it into the bottom half. Come on, Ollie, where have we got to? Out of 16-17, here he is, across the line now. And Roland goes, he's holding his hands up. He got held massively in that sector as well by Max Gunther in the Maserati. So Gunther holding him up too much there through that first delta point, and not too happy at all. Omi's alongside me in the commentary box for Porsche, just to let you know there. Josh T's main series is British Touring Car Championships. As they come into it. Oh, and they go to an ad break. See, I don't get a chance to commentate a practice session because TNT always throw away from the adverts, which means I've got to hand now back over to the commentary team on YouTube. But I'll say it quickly as well. I'll explain the orders in a minute. Back to them.
So looking here at Fenestraz there now making his way through. He's managed to get a bit of clear air, thankfully, for him out on track. And likewise his teammate Oliver Rowland as well. We'll be hoping to keep continuing to go a little bit faster. See a few drivers now in attack mode here as well. So that means they've got 350 kilowatts of power compared to the regular 300. How do you implement that as a driver over the course of this session here, Zane?
Yeah, it's very important also in practice to try the 350 because into qualifying, if you make it to the duels, that's what you'll be using. And then your brake references change, everything changes about the circuit. So it's really important for the drivers and teams to use both 300 and 350. Of course, as a driver, you like as much power as you want all the time. So I think that's the time where the driver enjoys it most.
Yeah, absolutely. So just looking at Fenestraz making his way through now, under 10 minutes left of this session. You can see underneath the front wing as he makes his way out of the final corner. Good amount of support here for Nissan this weekend, of course, this being their home event. They've actually committed to Gen 4, the first manufacturer and the first team to do so up until 2030.
Oh, and Mortara's blocking the camera.
Oh, he's ruined our camera there as he comes out of turn 3.
Cinnamon Bill.
Oh, he clipped the wall, didn't he? Just on the exit. Let's have another look. Now this is Fenestraz just going through, and one of the Maseratis there as well. He just clipped the wall on the exit.
Mortara goes top.
Turn 1 really doesn't want to drive. It's still a bit wet, so...
Yeah, it's just gone fastest though. So it's not slowed him up too much, even if he was flirting with a bit of danger.
Yeah, lap times are always improving, and as you said, they're going for 350 now. But I think this track is not as power sensitive because it's so, let's say, low speed in terms of the straights and everything. So I think drivers will want to optimize their 300 kilowatt laps to make sure they get into the groove.
Absolutely, and times in terms of lap time, that is, 1:19.9 is the fastest set by Eder Mortara in the Mahindra. Yesterday in FP1, of course it was a little bit wetter, was a 1:20.865, so about a second or so quicker. You'd expect that with a bit of track evolution and the fact that it's a little bit drier. But really interesting to see how much faster this circuit is going to get. So Zane, obviously this track is very different to the one we had in Sao Paulo a fortnight ago. In terms of what race we're going to expect, we've got 32 kilowatts of energy, we've got 33 laps for the drivers. We had a bit of a peloton style in Sao Paulo, so what that meant was, drivers wanting to reserve energy and not wanting to lead because they were trying to keep as much energy as possible. Are we going to be expecting the same thing here, or is it going to be a bit of a different kettle of fish?
I think it's very interesting. I mean, this track in general is very difficult to overtake, so let's say quite easy to defend, but I think that the race is going to be quite power sensitive, so to defend while saving energy is a difficult thing for the drivers, and I think all these Formula E drivers have kind of gotten experts at it, but for sure we'll see some interesting racing, and if turn 1 is still wet, that's already going to be an interesting part at the start. I think we're in for a good race.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty exciting. What do you make of things, Andre?
Yeah, there'll definitely be no peloton here because slipstream effect will not be as powerful as in Sao Paulo because there was a really long straight, and that is not the case here. So I think it will be it will be quite strategic, and you'll see also drivers trying to push their limits and push others to make mistakes because it's very hard to overtake. So I think you will see them really close together, and and hope for things to happen.
With Jaguar.
Absolutely, sounds good to me. As we try and get our bus mixer back in sync. So, very, very quickly, as we're getting towards the end of this session, finally as well, all going well. If I can get my timing screen back up and running. Roland top, 119.4. Right. Whew. Chat back. Right, so, yes, I commentate on everything. That's why it's called JBMotorsports. It's my channel. I own it. I run it. And everybody else who gets involved in the commentary box as well very gracefully gives up their time. And we all have a lot of fun. And the team's been growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we love it. So, that's what I do everything. We cover 15 different series this year. Formula 1, 2, 3, F1 Academy, Porsche Super Cup, MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, Moto E, IndyCar, NASCAR, ABB FA Formula E, British Touring Car Championship, and the Le Mans 24-hour race, and the 24 Hours of Daytona. That's what we've covered this year. We're planning on adding Goodwood if we can. We're planning on adding the revival meeting and everything, and there's so much that we're planning to do. But yeah, I do it all because it's my job. It's become my job. What started out as a hobby turned into a career, and this is my job. until I get into commentating on world feeds and that sort of thing. This is the job, and I love doing every second of it. It's a pain half the time. Like last weekend when this amazing team and me did 33 streams across 72 hours and were on air for about 60 hours, barely any sleep. It was unbelievable, yeah. Oh, this is my job. This is my full-time job. And Cassidy's gone off the track somewhere and he's facing backwards. Where's he gone? Cassidy's now sideways. Down, where is he? Is that down? It's down at, I want to say turn, it must be down at 10, 11. He's gone straight on, yeah. So it's at 10 and 11, I reckon. Where is he down at 19, 20? Cassidy, 19 and 20. There we go, it's at 19 and 20, the penultimate corner, down the hill. So it's, yeah, that's a bizarre one to come through. Oh, I thought you had a part-time job alongside this. No, this is my full-time job. I'm a freelance journalist. This is my job. I started this business and done it all. Yeah, I was struggling to believe you. That's insane. No, seriously. This is my full-time job. I'm a freelance motorsport journalist and freelance journalist. I do other things on the side, but this is my full-time job. Streaming, content creation, talking to people up and down the paddock. This is my full-time job, yeah. Yellow flag to Sector 5, double yellow Sector 5, and there's nobody down there as far as I can see. So this must be for debris on that part of the track. Got Bird going through there now, Tictum's coming as well. So I can't see anything. Just a permanent yellow flag. Well, that's a tricky question. I started commentating in 2004 in Australia on Formula One. Then in 2012 I started MotoGP. 2013 I started British Touring Cars. 2014 I started 2014 Formula E. Then in 2016 started IndyCar. Left that for a couple of years. I did the 500. Then I went, did it. Slippery Surface turned 7 now. 2020 onwards, covered everything. And then from 2017 to 2019, green flag now out. Slippery Surface flag still in effect though at turn 7. 2017 to 2018, we did Facebook. So little pre-race reports, post-race reports, that sort of thing. 3 shows a weekend alongside our normal commentaries. Oh, front wings off. One of the Mahindra's front wings have come off down at turn 7. The undertray of the front wing has come loose, and that's what the yellow and slippery surface flag's for. It's sort of come off the circuit there. That's quite a clean cut as well, actually. So which Mahindra comes into the pit lane, we'll know. Mortara or De Vries. It's De Vries in the pit lane, so I'm saying it's De Vries. And his front wing. So back then, and then we started recording the commentaries all in 2015. Before then, we got them on tapes and DVDs and that lot of things, but on terms of voice record stuff. And we started streaming in 2020. We started with a couple of practice sessions, and then we did the odd race, and then I think from Nürburgring onwards 2020, we covered every race when we got the computer. But we've got them recorded, and it's been the plan over the last couple of years to get those races that weren't live in 2020 and pop them on. And then in 2021, we started with everything, because I was already commentating on everything anyway. And I was in the commentary box, and they were going nowhere. I was doing them for fun. So I thought, right, we'll do them live. We'll do everything live, get it on YouTube. And yeah, and Le Mans, been doing all the Le Mans for years now as well. This I think will be my, what is it, 2014? This will be my 9th Le Mans commentary this year. I've watched them all, obviously, since I was young and all that, but this is my 9th Le Mans commentary. As well, and it's all 24 hours. Sit here, whole 24 hours, standing and sitting in the box, commentating. Yeah, and that's pretty much how it's been ever since. Yeah, how old was you back then? 2004. I was 4 when I started, and it was 5 at the end of the year because I was born in 1999. I was young when we started. Murray Walker. That's what got me into Formula One. Murray Walker, and that fantastic man and that fantastic commentary. So yeah, Murray. And ever since then, just commentating non-stop. All of them. And loving every second of it. Megan started commentating in 2012, if you were wondering. Oh, hang on, my picture's wasn't there. We are. Megan started commentating in 2012 when she was 6. Hang on a minute. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7. 6 when the season started, 7 afterwards. And then she started 2015 onwards, permanently. She did the odd race. She still does the odd race, but like now. And then first person to join the commentary team was Josh T from this one. Then Adam came in, then everybody else came in. Yeah. Commentators at 4, yeah. How are you meant to be able to do anything? I think you were born to commentate this way. It's all I've ever wanted to do. Most people struggle to know what they want to do in their life. I knew from a very, very, very young age that I wanted to be in motorsports, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to commentate. I was lucky enough to have the voice for it. It does require some training. Not a lot. Most people will go, oh, well, it takes age. For me, I think with commentating, it's become a gradual curve. Like, you get better every year, and you get better every time you commentate. There's always some things that you develop on and realise and do. So it's fun. Do you have ABB 21? Yeah, it's on the channel. It's on the YouTube channel. ABB 21's on here. We've got that entire year. Coverage back then, because it was our first full year, we had the driver tracker, but it wasn't on all the time because it wasn't working all the time back in the day. It's not like nowadays where we've got this screen on all the time. It used to look like this. Hang on a minute. Oh, here it is. Is this it? No, that's me. Sorry. Hello. Oh, I actually don't have it. It's not even on. It's not even on Formula anymore. It used to be just a timing tower or just graphics at the top and our cameras. So as we went on and as we developed, we added more and more. How was your voice? Loud, but I was going nuts because we had a computer failure at the time, and we only got back on the last. We got back as they came out the last corner because our internet stalled. So we only got back on when the green flag went out. So I just went for it, and I made a mistake in the commentary because I was getting so close because Hamilton and Verstappen pulled out to the outside, and I wanted to say Verstappen leads in Abu Dhabi, and I said Verstappen leads in Azerbaijan Baku because I got confused because I was thinking, because at the time Hamilton got so close to Verstappen's rear tyre, I was thinking in the back of my head, oh my god, if he's got a puncture, it'd be just like Baku where he spun out and hit the wall. So I was thinking of things to say if that happened. So my brain was running on all cylinders that day. I was going like, and Max Verstappen leads in Abu Dhabi. And because I was thinking at the time, oh my god, did Hamilton touch his tyre? Is he going to have a puncture? I was going to say, and Verstappen's got a puncture. He's out, just like in Baku. So it was like that, but it didn't happen. So I muddled my words a little bit, but I thought it was quite good. And that last corner, I love it because I said the stewards will be giving this one hell. Hamilton cheated out of a world championship, but in the most crazy season of all, Max Verstappen exits the last corner and is the 2021 world champion in the most dramatic and controversial showdown I've ever seen in my life. And I think I didn't plan that because no one could plan what happened in Abu Dhabi 21, and I thought that was an absolutely amazing bit of history that I watched and I was able to give my voice to. So yeah, that's what happened next. My take on Lola joining Formula E. More on that in the pre-race show. I've got to hold my word on it. All I will say is that it's very good, but I'm waiting for Pico's word on that. And Ed Hunter when they get in later on. 3 lights on, 4 lights. I'm not even going to see a practice start because we've got one of the Maseratis of Gunther. Oh, over the bump at the exit of turn 3, losing the rear tyre, nearly hitting the wall. Yeah. That's the worst time of looking at Chemicon. Yeah, so lucky. Well, it glitched under the safety car because the timing screen crashed and the timing screen glitched the software up in the commentary box and OBS froze. So I was fighting that on the control. And it happened in Japan a year later when we missed the starts. In Japan in 2022, I said, lights out. OBS went dead. But we were broadcasting at the time to USRN. So our call of that first few laps are there, but they're not on the YouTube live stream. So what we had to do was we had to create a highlight show. Thankfully, the race got red flagged. So the whole race is on YouTube. The first half of the race is with a battle screen like this, with our commentary from USRN, up until the red flag point, and then it comes back here when the race restarts after the green flag. And during the live stream, because we went red flag, we thought, well, we've got time to do. Everyone's been watching, so we called the start again. We did another start. We faked it, basically. We did 5 lights on, lights out, away we go, all that lot, and Action Japan. And we tried to remember what we said. We just faked the start so that people could have their reaction. So yeah, that's how it was in 2020. I had a problem since then, though. You would have got plenty of Lewis wanted for title feedback. Yeah. Well, it wasn't it? Let's be face it. It wasn't Max's fault. It wasn't Red Bull's fault that what happened. But Lewis was cheated out of the World Championship. Never denied it. Just don't go on about it much. I said what I said at the time. Hamilton was cheated out of the world title. Max Verstappen is world champion. And well done, Max. It was a great season. It was going one or the other. Level on points. I enjoyed the ride from a broadcasting point of view. It was a tremendous season. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was so pleased that our first full season live streaming on YouTube was like that because it was absolutely insane. And the British Grand Prix, that was even better. The session's over the way, and they're just doing the practice starts. British Grand Prix was even better because it was a summer's day here in the UK. Megan turns into the commentary box having drunk about 4 glasses of red wine into a very hot commentary box on one of the hottest days of the year, puts her headphones on, and immediately it hits her like a ton of bricks. She even forgot to turn her microphone at one point. She was talking about a replay, and her mic wasn't on. So yeah, it was quite funny, that British Grand Prix. Max crashing on that one and then having to contend with Megan slowly getting worse as the session went on. It was hilarious. But yeah, I wish we could go back to 21. It was so amazing. I love the British Grand Prix as well. It's one of my favourite races on the calendar. Everything dramatic in a championship always happens at Silverstone. Apart from 2023. 2023 was a bit of a letdown. So I think everybody was a letdown from then. Okay, here's the results then. It's Evans on top by 61 thousandths of a second for Jaguar TCS Racer. Nissan on home soil, a second with Ollie Rowland. It's Goethe ahead of Verline, DaCosta, Cassidy, Nato, Mortara, Verne, Dennis the top 10. Van Dorn finds Muller, Boemi, Degrassi, Hughes, Fenestraz, De Vries, Seta Kamara, Juveler, Bird and Tinkton. Here's the highlights with Tom.
So then some highlights from Free Practice 2 here this morning in Tokyo. It got underway in the sunshine, thankfully, following the sideways rain and wind that we had here yesterday. And we saw a few drivers pushing the limits, and especially out of turn 3 with that big compression. It is going to be exciting going into qualifying, but also critical, I'm sure, in the race as well, to make sure that the drivers do not clip the wall on the outside, as we saw some doing at that point in the lap. We also saw some others flirting with the wall on a few occasions, including Lucas Degrassi, who lost part of his front wing. Likewise, Adam Mortara took out one of our cameras. We'll send in the bill in the post. See Frederick Bertrand there just watching on for Team Mahindra. What do you think we've learned from this session here, Andre?
Well, I think everyone learned a lot because new track, it's always challenging. I think the teams will be looking at all the sectors and the GPS traces from everyone else to see where there's time to gain, where can the driver brake later. And still with turn 1 wet, it's still a question mark. And I think the bigger question will be how to use the tires the best and how to improve the car as well. It's a new track.
Well, qualifying kicks off at 10:20 local time.
Yep, thanks for everybody joining us here for the Free Practice 2 session. Qualifying underway in about 1 hour and 45 minutes time. Do join us then. It's all ready. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.